Mrs. Skivvy is here, or Mrs. E. Thanks for coming to my classroom again. We're going to pick up where we left off with Crenshaw. So last time we read, Jackson was telling Crenshaw he needed to leave, and Crenshaw was saying, "But I'm here because of you." So Jackson must need him there for some reason. Let's try to find out what that is. Chapter 17, and here we have little Crenshaw peeking from the top. Robin was waiting for me in the hallway, sitting crisscross applesauce. Her stuffed armadillo, Spot, was in her lap. I took her hand and led her back to her bedroom. Her rainbow nightlight painted stripes on the ceiling. I wished I had one in my room, although I'd never admit it. "I heard you talking," she said as she crawled under her blanket. "Sometimes I talk to myself." "That's kind of weird," Robin yawned. "Yeah," I said, tucking her in. "It is." "You promised you'd read Lyle," she reminded me. I'd been hoping she'd forgotten. Yep. "He's in my keepsakes bag." I rummaged around in the brown paper bag. A bald doll poked out of the top, sizing me up with blank and beady eyes. "Scooch over," I said. Robin made room for me on her mattress. I opened the book. Its pages were soft, its cover tattered. "Robin," I asked, "have you ever had an imaginary friend?" "You mean like invisible?" "Invisible, yeah, like that." "Nope." "Really? Never?" "Nope. I have Lysandra and Jimmy and Kylie, and sometimes Josh when he's not being a boogerhead. They're real, so I don't need to pretend." I flipped through the pages of the book. "But sometimes, when you're alone?" I paused. I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to ask. Like, say you're home and you don't have any friends over and you really need to talk to someone who will listen. Not even then? "Nope," she smiled. "'Cause anyways, I have you." It made me happy to hear her say that, but somehow it wasn't quite the answer I'd been hoping for. I opened the first page. "This is the house on East 88th Street. It is empty now, like our house," Robin interrupted. "Only we live in an apartment." "True." "Jax," Robin said softly, "remember when we lived in the minivan for a while?" "Do you really remember that? You were just so little." "Kinda. I remember, but not really." Robin made Spot do a little dance on her blanket. "But you told me about it, so I was wondering." "Wondering what?" Spot performed a backflip. "Wondering if we're going to have to live there again. Because where would we go to the bathroom?" I couldn't believe it. Robin was just a kid. How had she figured out so much? Did she spy on her parents the way that I did? Robin sniffled. She wiped her eyes with Spot. I realized she was crying without making any noise. I miss my things, and I don't want to live in a car with no potty, and also my tummy keeps growling," she whispered. I knew what to tell her. She needed to hear the facts. We were having money problems. We were probably going to have to leave our apartment. We might even end up back in our minivan. There was a good chance she'd have to leave all her friends behind. I put my arm around Robin and hugged her close. She looked up at me. Her eyes shimmered. "You need to tell the truth, my friend." "Don't be ridiculous," I said. "We can't live in our car. Where would we put our popsicles? Besides, Aretha and Dad snore like crazy." She laughed, just a little. "You worry too much, girl. Everything's fine, I promise. Now, let's get back to Lyle." Another sniffle. A nod. "Hey, fun fact about crocodiles," I said. "Did you know that a bunch of them in the water is called a float?" Robin didn't answer. She was already sound asleep, snoring softly. Me, I couldn't sleep. I was too busy remembering. So Jackson and his family had a really tough time where they had to live in their car for a little while because they didn't have enough money for a home or an apartment. They didn't have anybody to stay with. And that's what they were talking about in this chapter. They were kind of remembering what it was like to live in the minivan and how hard it was on their family. So you can just imagine how hard it must have been on them. And how would you feel if you were in that situation? It would probably be sad and kind of scary. Alright, we're going to read one more chapter today, and we are now on part 2 of our book. Mashed potatoes are to give everybody enough. That's a quote that they have here. And this is chapter 18. I guess becoming homeless doesn't happen all at once. My mom told me once that money problems sort of sneak up on you. She said it's like catching a cold. At first, you just have a tickle in your throat, and then you have a headache. And then maybe you're coughing a little. The next thing you know, you have a pile of Kleenexes around your bed and you're hacking your lungs up. Maybe we didn't become homeless overnight, but that's what it felt like. I was finishing first grade. My dad had been sick. My mom had lost her job teaching. And all of a sudden, bam. We weren't living in a nice house with a swing set in the backyard anymore. At least that's how I remember it. But like I said before, memory is weird. It seems like I should have thought to myself, whoa, I'm going to miss my house and my neighborhood and my friends and my life. But all I remember thinking about was how much fun living in our minivan was going to be. So that's the end of where we're going to stop reading today. Next time we'll join for chapter 19 and we'll see what happens with their home and if they have to move out or not. Well, see you guys later. Hope you have time to do one of our book responses today and have a great rest of your day.